Hi everyone. We are here in Spain to explain the changes that this country has experienced during the last 2 years. To start, you'll be guided by us, a group of correspondents from Germany
and China.
Sangre obrera que se vierte con raudales de pasión.
This period is curious. The country has been a monarchy since 1874. Even during the dictatorships of Primo de Rivera and Damaso Berenguer, the king has been an important symbol of Spain. But during the Republican period, the figure of the monarchy totally disappears.
To start, my partner Oriana is going to explain you the political sphere during the dictatorship of Primo de Rivera.
Primo de Rivera 在阿尔方索13世的支持下，于1923年发动了政变，并且在他的任期之中，他担任了首相，然后革除了旧部。此外，他还增添了新的议会制度，使得西班牙成为了名义上的君主立宪制国家。
但是他没有用新机构代替各部委，通过改革，他得罪了军队和士兵，并且废除了民主议会，去让新的议会被贵族所掌控。当Primo de Rivera的健康状况恶化时，贝伦盖尔被阿方索13世任命为新总理，并实行仁慈专政。人民议会和政府现在缺乏民主机构，而且体制僵化。贝伦盖尔批评前总理的独裁统治，但他想维持君主制的合理化。此外，贝伦盖尔的政府执行一项经济民族主义政策，其中包括工程、建立许多国家监管机构，并将伪造的石油利益国有化，并建立国有石油。与此同时，阿方索13世对贝伦盖尔政府不满意，因为政府的弱点，并担心被老政客误导。1930年8月17日，几乎所有西班牙共和党政治运动的代表在马德里的安德内尔会面。他们准备于12月15日发动政变并建立共和国，但是起义失败了，因为斐革命橄榄于12日开始了起义。
The state's economic budget for 1930 was tight. A great engine of the Spanish economy was exportations. Olive oil and wine were mainly exported to European countries and the United States. The economic corporations were divided into three main groups. The first and most important, the primary sector. The secondary sector, and the group of agricultural exports, railway, electrification, and chambers of commerce by the autonomous community.
The crisis of the United States of the year 29 will cause the stock market crash. Industrial activity were paralyzed. The Europeans began to experience the crisis, but the situation had not reached Spain until the next year.
The Admiral Juan Bautista Aznar created a monarchical government on the 13th of February. It was formed by important soldiers like the General Sanjurjo and by caciques, such as the Romanones Count. The Romanones Count was a compromising monarchical, which means that he was willing to pact with the Republican politicians. He was part of the courts for 35 years and had a close friendship with Berenguer. He controlled the political power in Guadalajara by designating governors and judges by manipulating the elections. The main mission of Aznar's government was to prepare the elections. This electoral process was understood as a plebiscite. The future of the political system would be decided. The choice was monarchy or republic.
政权更迭加剧了西班牙的危机，在工业界，由于极端主义的宣传使企业瘫痪，失业率上升， 有大量大西洋移民在南美国家和西班牙之间迁移。
The elections prepared by Aznar's government took place on the 12th of April and they were favorable to the Republicans. The 14th of April of 1931 at 4:30 in the afternoon, the Second Spanish Republic was proclaimed at the Cibeles Square, in which the first flag was raised.
Not so long after that scene took place, there were walks through many cities of Spain in which the people celebrated the proclamation of the Second Spanish Republic. Some hours after, the king had to abdicate and to go into exile. The first government of the Second Republic was provisional, and it was led by Niceto Alcalá Zamora, leader of Derecha Liberal Republicana. More members of this government were Antonio Maura, Alejandro Lerroux, Manuel Azaña, and Francisco Largo Caballero. After the creation of the provisional government, the elections to the constitutional courts were announced, and a legislative labor of reforms started with the intention of improving the situation of the country. The same day the Second Spanish Republic was proclaimed, Francesc Macià, the leader of Esquerra Republicana, decided to do the same and he proclaimed the Catalonian Republic. This is the first crisis that the provisional government had to resolve. It was solved by restoring the autonomic government of the Generalitat.
Workers had no way to claim their rights except for the strikes. Spain had a weak industrial sector with little job offer and poorly paid. The cities were filled with people fleeing the countryside in hopes of improving their quality of life.
Poverty reached extreme limits, mainly in the southern half of the country. The workers' movement is the origin of many conflicts. Due to the proclamation of the Republic, the working class decided that it was the perfect time to reclaim an improvement in their quality of life.
Here we are with an anarchist from the CNT. Hola, what's your name? ¿Cuál es su nombre?
Hola, mi nombre es Pablo.
Señor Pablo, cuéntenos un poco acerca de su situación como obrero.
Pues mira, estamos hartos, no hacemos más que reivindicar. Ayer estuvimos en una manifestación de la CNT y los policías no nos dejan en paz.
¿Y cuáles son los derechos por los que están luchando?
Pues el gobierno nos ha prometido un montón de cosas y luego no cumple nada. Y no hacemos más que reivindicar y cada vez que salimos a reivindicar, corre la sangre. Queremos una revolución y la queremos ya.
To face those problems, the Labor Minister Largo Caballero established some decrees that improved the rural workers' situation. Among them, the decree of compulsory cultivation could be found. It forced the landowners to have their lands cultivated always. Thanks to the labor reforms in the rural areas, the working days are reduced to 8 hours. There were conflicts caused by the field workers because they were expecting a revolution of the working class, and in some areas they tried to obtain the land by force. There were reforms in education. 7,000 schools were created in the first year of the Republic, and the government founded the Board of Pedagogical Missions to spread culture. The cultural center of the country was the students' residence. In that place, many artists of this period got together, such as the 27th generation, Dalí, and Buñuel.
"1931 was a year with many social conflicts. The relationships between the church and the state were complicated. After a monarchical assembly on the 10th of May in Madrid at Alcalá Street, there was a confrontation between monarchy supporters and popular groups. The next day, the anti-clericalism got violent. Some schools, churches, and convents were burned. An important man who participated in the conflict between the state and the church was the Cardinal Pedro Segura. He published a pastoral letter criticizing the Second Spanish Republic. After a few days, he went to Guadalajara to reunite with some priests, while the government was ordering his detention. He hid in the Paules convent in Guadalajara, and there he was arrested the 13th of June of 1931. On June 28 of 1931, the elections to the Constitutional Courts were realized. The 80% of the Camera were Republicans and Socialists. The right conservative parties were a minority and didn't have enough power to have influence in this period. This fact got reflected in the 1931 Constitution. The redaction of this document caused some debates related to the Article 26. The state, the regions, the provinces, and the municipalities will not have relationships and will not help economically to the churches and religious institutions. A special law will regulate the elimination of the church budget in a period of 2 years. The approval of this article was the cause of a crisis in the provisional government, and it made Niceto Alcalá Zamora and the Prime Minister Miguel Maura to resign on October 15 of 1931. Manuel Azaña was named as the president, and his main task was to finish the constitutional works. The constitution was approved the 9th of December by the court. The document defined Spain as a democratic and secular republic formed by workers of all kinds. It recognized the autonomy of the regions, the women obtained suffrage, the divorce got legalized, and the civil marriage was established.
On December the 10th, the courts chose Alcalá Zamora as the president, and he requested Manuel Azaña the formation of the first constitutional government of the Second Spanish Republic.
Nowadays, it's difficult to know what will be happen eventually the next year in this country.
But we hope that this government benefits Spain and the persistent people who live here.